Welcome back. Oh my god, that was cringy. That was so cringe. Today we're talking about something revolutionary in a literal sense because change is evolution. Change is everywhere in life. So the question I want to ask right now is, do your feelings create your thoughts, or do your thoughts create your feelings?
Each time I see a crowd of people.
If you've ever had a class or studied about psychology, you should know about the James Lange theory. This is basically a theory proposing that we feel emotions based on what happens to our body or what we see. If you have ever tried to touch the stove as a kid, then you most likely felt the fear and pain that came with it. I'm hoping, unless you have some type of kink that I don't know about. If there was a guardian there, you most likely got yanked back and heard an assertive tone on telling you
not to do this, don't do that.
Of course, like, why wouldn't you? But from there on, what you don't know is that you've created a section in your brain that categorized fear and pain with doing something wrong, like a failure. Your brain is going to go straight to that when you feel things similar to that. The failure that you felt as a child is also going to reflect on the failure that you feel when you grow older. You may not remember your first feelings of anger, happiness, sadness, whatever it is, but they're subconsciously rooted in who you are as a person. Those little small moments that you experienced as a kid, they're the reason why you are the way you are and how you react even as a 30-year-old. It traces you back for a long ass time. But it's crazy. It's like as a kid, you're a sponge, and it's like you're actually programmed to be this person. Here's the upside, because in knowing all this, you can dig deep down into who you are and why the way you are. Even in spirituality, this is called shadow work. You go into your hidden parts of childhood, just any experiences that you've been through, you find out. And it absolutely doesn't matter about how many textbook ways you know about how to get happy again. It's not IQ strength that will help you, it's emotional strength. The main solution to progressing from your feelings is to feel them. A lot of people are very negligent, and I can agree that I am also. That's why you have yourself. You can forgive your own emotion. You can forgive other people for them. And I know that sounds like complete BS. Even through hate, even through absolute anger, I feel like everyone can find a way to forgive someone for how they acted and say everyone has a reason why they did something, so it's best to forgive. Back to my point though, if you're emotionally strong, you have the ability to take your bad emotions and redirect them into a neutral state to where you're not biased towards any feeling. And what I mean exactly to be in a neutral state with these emotions is, don't always revert back to a past situation where you felt that exact emotion. Don't have that bias all the time. It's totally fine, and it's instinct to have a past situation or a similar past emotion and put it into the present where you're feeling that same exact thing. A lot of times, if you go in and assume these kind of emotions and kind of have this reflex towards, it's like a defensive mechanism, that's when you get kind of mixed up. You're not just living in the moment, you're living based on the past, your past experiences, your past in general. The first step is finding out what you're feeling. Every day or most days, your answers are very surface level. What I mean by that is, when someone asks how are you, do you really tell them how you are? But 80% of the time, I'm sure that you say, oh, I'm alright, I'm fine, I'm good. No, like, I feel like that also places a bottled up kind of phenomenon. That brings in the why. Why do you feel that way? What has recently happened that brought that emotion to your brain, to your head, to your mindset? After you found out what or why, you can feel. And by feel, I want you to feel the anger, the sadness, the confusion, whatever you're feeling, I want you to feel it. Look at it from an observer's point of view. From my opinion, these emotions remind me of a flame. So I close my eyes, I picture blackness, and I could picture the flame actually growing. I could picture it getting stronger. You can take your time with this. It can be a 15-minute process. 5-minute process, 30-minute process. And what that does is it creates this graphic, this visual and connection towards your emotion that you don't usually do. You don't usually have a visual connection to your emotions, and I feel like that flame can represent that. This is something that you do until it starts to lessen. A lot of times when you feel something, you do something else to redirect that to the back of your head. So I don't want that happening. This is the complete opposite of what helps me lessen the emotion over time. You won't have any mental resistance, and that's the worst thing you can have. You can't chase what you want if you have mental resistance. It's just a detoxifier. So it's hard, don't get me wrong. This isn't an easy thing to look at your emotions. All it takes is a little bit of forgiveness once at a time, because if you wish growth on anything in life, you have to mentally grow first before anything.